But let's go into ububu veggie.
Yes.
Like what is that? You know, like in its like
entirety.
Terms, you know, what is being a virgin? And I think I also want to get like two perspectives.
And Jesus says all sin starts in the mind.
Yes.
So you've already done it.
Yes.
He deals with men decisively in that text. If you have looked at a woman,
you've already
you've done it, my
you've
brother.
defiled her.
Number one, virginity is something that you haven't done.
Sure.
Right? And purity is something that you're becoming.
Okay.
So it's a consistent journey.
You're showing me.
Hello there.
Hey girl,
how you doing?
I'm good, girl. We're just having a very weird conversation.
Yeah.
Not weird, but just a little bit on the sensitive side about purity and sexual liberation and body positivity
and so forth.
All of that, especially in the women's
space,
you know,
perspective.
Yeah.
It's hectic.
So we were just discussing just now about what is the difference between purity and virginity? Is there a difference?
Yes.
What is it?
Number one, virginity is something that you haven't done.
Sure.
Right. And purity is something that you're becoming.
Okay.
So it's a consistent journey. Purity is you're becoming something.
Okay.
And virginity is something that you haven't had sexual intercourse. That's it.
So virginity is more of a physical
thing, and
evidence
purity
of not
having physical.
sex.
Yes, and then purity is a spiritual thing. It's an ongoing thing. It's the character.
I see, but like we often mistaken the two, though, especially when we talk to our parents.
Yeah.
Sometimes even talk to church folk, our elders. You know. Purity is often, like the words are interchangeable in one sentence. They can use virginity and purity like interchangeably type of thing. So I guess that's why it's important for us to have this conversation about the differences between the two. Like you said, purity is about becoming
something
pure, right? So what does the Word of God, what does the Bible say about purity?
Right. I think we need to understand that the Bible actually emphasizes more on purity than virginity, right? Okay. So in Matthew 5 verse 8 it says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God."
Right.
It's not blessed are those who are virgins, for they will see God.
Okay.
In heart. What is virginity?
Yeah.
Physical.
One can argue though that virginity is close to purity in a sense, right? It's kind of, it can be in line because you're physically pure. You haven't been touched by a man or a woman. Mm-hmm. You haven't, had sexual intercourse. You haven't done, your hymen is still intact in the Zulu tradition. You know what I mean? So that could signify that physically you're pure.
Purity isn't about the physical. It's about the spiritual, the mental, and the emotional state. It's not about the physical, because you can be a non-virgin but still be pure.
Impure, okay.
That's why I say it's becoming.
Okay.
It's more spiritual. Purity is not about the physical. Yes, you can be physically pure, but it's more on the spiritual. So you can be a virgin, but in your thoughts and in your actions, you are not a virgin. Basically,
you have lusted.
You have done all of it, because it goes back to you are a virgin. But what are you doing on a daily? Mm-hmm. What are you doing alone? What are you watching? What are you saying? Mm-hmm. Are you texting? Are you going about things differently? It's, as I said, it's the spiritual. When you are alone, if God can come and say, the girl who says she's a virgin, what is she thinking about currently at midnight? Or the boy that she's talking to, is she promising him heaven on earth in the physical, but isn't giving him?
Has she imagined him? Has she undressed him?
Yes. But the moment he walks into church, you're like, ooh. Oh. Then you undress him in the suit.
But friends, some of them are real cute.
You don't have to undress him. You can just say, oh, this guy is cute.
Yeah. And not wonder beyond that.
But that's a thing. It's dying from the flesh. I think being pure is dying on the flesh every day. You literally say, yeah, he's hot, but God. Do you understand? What God? Mudimu. He's the goal. I think that's that being pure. You're literally saying my goal is to get rid of those thoughts.
Correct.
I think that's what purity is, because you can be a virgin, but your thoughts are lustful. They're not pure. They're not a virgin.
Right. And I just want to go back to that verse that you just mentioned now, Matthew 5:8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So purity is now being placed with seeing God. What do you think that means? Like, what does you will see God mean? I think I just want to ask our ghost. KG, what does that mean? What does it mean when the Bible says, for you shall see God?
Hi, everybody. So Enoch walked with God, and he was not, because God took him. God wants to see people, or to have a date with people who walk with him. I think if we dissect that part, I'm not going to go into it theologically, but just on a general level, the challenge we've had from eternity past, or since the creation of time, is that God was removed from our view because of sin. So purity allows us obedience in that sense. The gradual striving to be obedient to God's will affords you the opportunity to see God again, because sin closed off humanity from seeing God in the literal sense. And seeing God then in the spiritual sense is that we were talking last week about the fear of the Lord being the beginning of wisdom, where you will see God in your business, you'll see God in your career, you'll see God in your academics, if you choose to live or lead a pure life.
Yeah.
So seeing God is not like a physical seeing.
It's the moral, your morals.
It's both ways.
Okay.
Both ways. You will see God physically in heaven,
Yes,
obviously.
Yeah.
But you will also see God in your life.
Like just making things happen for you. You know, it actually reminds me of the Shunammite woman. Would we say she was pure?
I love her so much.
Would we say she was pure? Because she got to see God working through her in her story. She got a son.
Yeah.
You know, by the same God, because like you said in one of your preachings that you did recently, that she made God's business her business.
Yes.
And then God made her business his business.
And all she did was worship God.
Right.
It was not transactional. That's what he said. It was not transactional. Just like I'm worshiping this God.
Yeah.
In my actions, in my everyday life. So it's the moral compass of just living a godly life or seeking God on a daily.
Right.
And that was serving the people around her and being her.
So loving others and loving God, essentially, which are basically the two commandments the entire book of the Bible is basically based on.
Yes.
So just to touch back on virginity, right? We've talked about purity now. We've understood what purity is.
Yeah.
But let's go into veggie.
Yes.
Like what is that? You know, like in its like
entirety.
Terms. You know, what is being a virgin? And I think I also want to get like two perspectives.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of the female virginity and the male virginity.
Do males have virginity?
It's a good question.
Do they?
KG, do men have virginity? Is that a thing?
I believe more men are virgins than you guys would like to let on. Statistically speaking.
Wow.
There are more men who are in their 30s who have never had an encounter with a woman.
Interesting.
Purely because of socioeconomic reasons.
Okay.
Not because they don't desire, but purely because of socioeconomic. They haven't had the opportunity. Okay. There are more men who haven't had the opportunity to have, I believe, than there are women in the same age category.
Okay. So, but let's identify virginity.
Sure.
So, fine.
My definition changes now.
Okay.
It's a one-time condition that can change.
Okay, got it. So it's a physicality,
yes,
right? But I think I want to understand even from a male perspective.
Yeah.
Now, what if these people that you're talking about who are in their 30s, who've never engaged in sexual intercourse,
yeah,
what if they use their hands?
Yes.
Is that still, would you still consider a person a virgin if they've been using their hands instead of actually engaging?
In the male sense, it's difficult because men ejaculate even when they sleep. So I don't know whether or not you could say that's the case. You could say they are being lustful, they're masturbating, they're doing all those sorts of things, but in the purest sense of the word, they haven't entered a woman's body.
Yes, because remember, it's an act. Virginity.
So is it the same for women?
Yes.
So if I've been touching myself, but I'm still a virgin,
I'm
still a virgin.
That's what we're telling you. You're not pure.
You might not be pure, you're a virgin, but you might not be
Yes,
pure.
you're not pure. It gets to the
I'm
point
not pure,
of-
but I'm still a virgin.
Yes. So you're a virgin that's not pure.
And you must just repent.
And
So that you know
so that you can become a virgin that is
That
pure.
is pure.
So that's why that's why I keep telling you this, the debate on virginity versus purity. It can't be one thing. You can't equate a virgin to a pure person.
Okay.
Because like we're saying, she's touching herself. That's a virgin that is not pure.
Because she's kind of having sex in her head,
Exactly.
essentially.
Yeah,
Lust.
and Jesus says all sin starts in the mind.
Yes.
Mind. So you've
And
already
that's-
done it.
Yes.
And he deals with men decisively in that text. If you have looked at a woman
You've
lustfully,
already-
Yeah.
you've done it, my
You've
brother.
defiled her, essentially, already.
Yeah.
Okay. So going into the female perspective
Yeah.
now. So we kind of were discussing this earlier, even with the gents, about, okay, cool, I may still have my hymen intact, but my backdoor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I had a friend actually in varsity who claimed virginity. Obviously, I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But she claimed virginity, and I actually used to ask her, okay, then what do you do with your boyfriend? Because she had a boyfriend at the time. And she said, we backdoor it. You know what I mean? So now that you've opened that
thing.
side,
Yeah.
are you still considered a virgin? Or what's happening there?
Society will say they're still a virgin.
Because the hymen
But
is
it's
intact.
intact.
So
but
basically, virginity is
about the
a hymen.
Exactly. That's why it's never a big deal for the males.
For males, because nothing breaks.
Well, God forbid anything should break. I mean,
Okay.
So she's still a virgin, but is she really a virgin?
So, which now brings me into a very touchy situation. The Zulu culture.
Hey,
Ukuhlolwa.
hey,
Kwendongi.
invasion.
You think it's invasion of privacy?
Because then it's a conversation we've had, right? So I
Sure.
went and we Googled what they actually do.
Actually can
It's
read it here for you.
harassment, actually.
So I just want to read it for context,
Harassment.
as to what Ukuhlolwa
Yes.
Kwendombi is. It's basically like a Zulu tradition that
Yeah.
has been going on for centuries. So there's this young lady called Unomalanga. She was 27 years old at the time. Sorry. She grew up in Sobantu Township in Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal. Then she says she remembers her experience of virginity testing. It was usually done in a room or enclosed area where a virginity tester would sit on a grass mat wearing gloves. The woman or girl coming for her testing would lie down and spread her legs wide open. Yo. Yeah, it's really not. The tester would then open her genitalia. Like basically, she describes it as like enlarging a picture on a screen.
phone, yeah.
You know, like zooming in essentially, right? And then the tester would look inside and to apparently see if the hymen has been intact. Or if the size of the canal has been opened to a male genitalia size, right? So that's kind of like how they would do it. And then there was another one that I read earlier that said that they take a liquid and they'll like sort of put it inside her area and then see if the water keeps going or does it come back out. type of thing. So if it comes back out quicker, then she hasn't been exposed. Or if it just keeps going and it takes a while to come back, we have a problem.
Oh, that is so intense. So what happens to the girl child that is in sports, right? And in sports, then the hymen hits.
Like horse riding. We've heard
Then,
of
and
examples
then
like
exactly that's the problem. Or there's different types of insights woman. Like every woman has a different one, right?
that. Yeah.
What if I didn't have it from the get-go? Then what? Am I not a virgin?
Well, the thing is, there's no way to prove it. That's the problem. Especially with the older generation of women who are going to
proving.
There's no way to prove it. So you will be seen as you know.
In fact, guys, this is so deep because in other cultures and religions, there's a systemic problem where there's an expectation that after your first wedding night or on your first wedding night,
you're supposed to bleed.
You're supposed to bleed.
What if you
and
don't?
that's problematic.
So problematic.
And it has caused a lot of havoc, especially your Islam, Muslim religions. That actually, those guys, I want to say, they practice to the letter,
to the T.
Purity, like you don't even try, to be seen with a woman before you're married. Like it's deep.
So now in this situation, like you said earlier, you see, to you it's invasive.
It's very invasive.
It's invasive of your private.
And the reason why I'm saying
I think it's also
invasive,
traumatic.
It is because invasive in the sense that I'm from the royals, right? And as a royal, if you're a virgin, when there's a ceremony as with the chiefs, right? As the virgins, you must not wear anything, just cover up here. And for me, I'm the one grandchild that refused. Like I blatantly said, I'm not going to sit in front of 500 men not dressed. And the aunties and the grannies had a problem and saying, oh, that means you're not a virgin. And I'm thinking, no, I'm just not comfortable. So if I'm not comfortable with just being naked with just the covering there, what's more when I'm lying down and somebody's looking in my insides? For me, that's pretty invasive. It's harassment.
Well, the actual practice, because I also kind of continued reading this article. It's found it's this article called Habiti Africa.
Yeah.
So where I basically got this definition from. By the way, I'm not making any of this up. All of this has been researched. So, they basically mentioned that the main reason why this type of testing exists is to basically protect young women. That's the kind of like double-sided edge of this whole thing.
Protect them from
men, right? To protect them from the society, to also make sure that men are being educated that they're not allowed to touch women like that. They're not allowed to touch young girls, also to protect them from STDs and AIDS and, all these kind of diseases or viruses, right? It's just to basically make sure that the women are loving themselves or taking care of themselves. So it's something for women to look forward to.
So they say that you don't love yourself if you have had sex. Is that what they say?
That's basically what they're saying, that you have not been taking care of yourself, But then, like that type of thing, But then now it fails to address rape victims. That's my problem now. That's where I kind of like,
it fails to protect the one who was not born with the hymen.
Right.
It fails to protect the one who mistakenly hurt herself. It fails to protect a lot. And I think that's the gray area for me. That's also, what if when you're doing the whole shouldering thing, you hurt the person as well? Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. It's the gray area for me. It's the double standard.
So would you say then that they should not do it?
They should just believe me. Just as I say it, let me believe me when I say I'm an intomito.
Yeah.
Believe me. Why are you having to check me in the inside?
But women lie.
Everybody lies. Like
it's a little bit tough.
It is.
I'm gonna jump onto I think I'm gonna also jump onto the commodification of virginity. Now, I think there is where it gets really touchy because one thing I've also noticed about the reasons why this sort of practice even exists, it is for monetary value, essentially. So this is why families, I would think that, they put so much pressure
On
this
females.
on this
Girls.
part of your body, because I feel like it's sort of like in a way selling
The
your
child.
virginity.
Yeah, it is. It's
More than
becomes
just
the
selling
identity.
you, it's selling the virginity.
Yeah, it
'Cause
becomes the identity. That's another problem I
I
have.
don't really think there's a conscious like people. I don't think people are actually conscious of how dangerous this is. You know, because as a woman, I'm sitting here. I'm not a virgin. Maybe either I've made a mistake, or I've been raped, or something happened. An accident happened.
Yeah.
Ukuhlolwa, they find out that okay, Sihle is not a virgin, right? Okay, cool. Well, I even have evidence because I have a kid. But either way, like they see, okay, Sihle is not a virgin, so definitely the monetary value of my lobola decreases.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't really think it's more about, you know, selling you as a person. They're selling your vagina. That's what it feels like to
It
me.
does.
And that's just my opinion.
That's how it's not. I don't think it's an opinion. It is what it is. It's a fact. Is that the fact that you are a virgin, we're getting more cows. If you're not, you are decreasing our value as a family. So literally, you are selling my vagina.
Because in the same article, I further down read another ghost story who was saying that her father would, because there were two sisters, I think they went to varsity in Joburg, and then I think every month he would fly them down to have them checked to like see if you guys are still virgins. Then the sister of the lady was, and then eventually got found that she was not a virgin anymore, and the dad disowned her, like completely. You know what I mean? And then she says that they haven't spoken in years. And then when she actually spoke to her sister, the sister actually realized she had been raped. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the dad is still not talking to her. The dad doesn't care. It's that thing of you lost. It's like a man losing his cows, essentially.
So basically, he's upset that he's lost. If you're a virgin, let's say for instance, I don't know, you're getting 15 cows. The fact that you're not a virgin, you've now decreased my 15 cows to 7.
To 7.
He's not pleased with that. So you're basically selling. You're selling your child.
I mean, what's your take on this?
So guys, you must remember that culture has progressive intentions, but it might have retrogressive outcomes. So the intention of Ukuhlolwa is progressive in its intention. The intention is to keep ladies for their husbands, so that there is no immorality in society and in culture. You understand the case. The retrogressive part of the culture is when it victimizes, or it sidelines, or it doesn't accommodate. And I want to then say, there are women who are probably watching who are saying, look, I take pride in the fact that in Ukuhlolwa and I passed, right? I got checked and I passed, and I take pride in that, and I do make it my identity until the point that I get married. That for them, I would say that is better for them to do than to necessarily. They're not rubbing it in on anyone, by the way. This is their own thing. They've decided that this is what I'm going to be about, and it's fine. In the same way that we know about the circumcision culture of the Xhosas, it has its progressive intention, but sometimes the outcomes are retrogressive, right? So culturally, it's a practice. Yes, we accept that it's a practice. Those who participate in it by choice, also, by the way, because remember, our societies are there's urbanization going on. So some families that are Zulu are more urban than others. And even in that, there are people who still live in urban areas who think rural, which is weird. And that's why you have people flying out their daughters all the time to Durban, Ukuhlolwa. The idea here is we're not saying those who have partaken in the culture have done it wrong. It's a way. It might not be the best way, but it's a way that they are applying the culture for progressive intentions. If it works for them, it works. For those it doesn't work for, we are sorry. Not we, but I'm saying the culture should take accountability for that. Yes. So for the boys that die in mountains, the culture should take accountability for that as well. So that's my view on that. I'm not.
No, it makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense. And I just want to touch a little bit on basically sex education, right? And especially within the cultural space. One person still on the same article said, talking about sex was always taboo in our traditional families, right? No one explained anything to me about what sex was, what virginity was, and why I had to protect it. We were only told that we shouldn't let boys touch us,
you? Yes.
and that we should keep our virginity because that is the pride of our family.
Yes.
Right. So I guess my question is that last part, the
pride of the family.
What does that mean?
I think that's my problem as well. You're glorifying this thing. Mm-hmm. You're making it the identity. Mm-hmm. I feel like it shouldn't be identity. Like he's saying, is progressive in the sense that we want you to protect yourself. We want you to be don't sleep around and so forth. Mm-hmm. Protect your body and so forth, right? But why then say it's the pride of the family? Let it be the pride of yourself, that you're looking after yourself.
And your parents have taught you well. You become that pride, that they've taught you not to touch men, not to go sleep around, not to sleep with your boyfriend, only sleep with your husband. I guess that's
what they say.
Yeah.
There's another ghost perspective here.
Yeah, sure, you can.
No, Nanne, the problem, once you say it shouldn't be the pride of the family, then you are simply saying, when you graduate, your family should not take pride in that too.
Why are you equating it to the graduation? Let's talk about it. Talk about the virginity part and the testing. Don't make an example with make your statement without comparing to something else. Because why are you comparing virginity to graduation?
Because it has got one element in it. The family takes pride in you being a virgin. The family takes pride in you graduating. The family takes pride in you getting your first car. The family take pride in you buying your first house. Your family always take pride in whatever you're doing, even if it's not for them, but it's for you. And even if it's not going to benefit them, it's benefiting you, but your family takes pride in it. Now, the problem with that is that once you start saying this one must not be included in the family must not take pride in this, then you're going to create a problem in the future to say, oh, now we must select where to be proud, when to be proud about you, and when not to be proud about you.
Mm-hmm. It goes back to, I'm not saying they mustn't take pride in it, right? I'm just saying don't make it the basis of everything. Because for instance, I have 5 sisters, right? The one gets raped. And then you say, for the other 4, you pride yumden. What about the one that has been raped?
Or even made the mistake.
Or made the mistake of having sex. And you're making it the thing of the pride of the family. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Let it be, what's the word? It shouldn't be the basis of everything, because things happen in this world, guys, and you can't say that virginity is the pride, or you being intomito is the pride of the family.
And I think I just want to read, going down a bit more, still on the same sort of testimony. The big motive was to receive the full lobola, especially in Komoga Mama, which is the 11th cow. So that's where the pride is, essentially, in terms of her story.
Yeah.
That the mom gets recognition for raising a daughter that took care of herself. So I do see it's a double-edged sword.
I see it as well.
It's like on one side it protects you.
Yes.
So that you don't get problems like, having a child out of wedlock, having STDs, having HIVs, having to deal with crazy ex-boyfriends, things like that. But on the other scale, it's like it kind of messes up your self-esteem now if you're not
exactly
living up to that standard.
For me, it's always the 1 out of the 50 who aren't the one that isn't the virgin, right?
Sure.
How is she then moving about life? Because, like I'm saying, I'm pro. Don't do it. Yes, they whatever. But I'm thinking about the one child who made the mistake, or not even made the mistake. She willingly did it, right? And then decided that, okay, I shouldn't have done it. But now people around are saying, oh, you're not a virgin. Oh my God. Do you understand? What are you then doing to that child's self-esteem and self-worth? Why are we equating her value to her virginity?
The Bible in its entirety, since we're Christian, it promotes holiness, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it gives us, as Christians, we are trying to attain a certain standard. What happened to the ones who are falling? Is the Bible now supposed to say, but you're falling, let's remove the standard? No. Hence, when you look at the Bible, then the Bible will say in 1 John 2, it says, if any man sin, let him know that there's an advocate with the Father. In other words, we will try and uplift you back to the standard. If you happen not to get to where you're supposed to, please die trying to attain that higher standard. It's difficult, but fall upwards.
And
The point is, you're right to say, what about this one? But we can't now say, let there be no culture, because what about this? I will then say, one can say, Pella, if we're now trying to accommodate everybody, we will not have society. Because nami I will say, oh, why you stay selling motor? What if bang bulala? So in King I selling motor. So there will always be those things that affect us as society. I like what he was saying. The intention was never to affect you. The intention, I don't think me as a normal human being, I will appreciate anybody getting raped. When I think about it as a normal human being, the fact that you just go into a human being, there's no discussion, and you just walk in and then you open your legs and then she's screaming. I don't think as a normal human being, I should appreciate that. I don't think I will plan that my sister could get raped. But maybe the shortcoming of the culture is, or what we don't know now, not that there's the culture is there's shortcomings. We have not necessarily looked at the culture and say, okay, we hear that it promotes 1, 2, and 3, and 4. But what does the culture say about 1, 2, and 3, and 4? Because it's easy now to criticize the culture and say, this is how it makes this other person feel. But what does the culture say? You will find that the Zulu culture accommodates this, but we have not covered that. Can I conclude by saying, you see now you will find people by Zinkabi. Do you know that the Zulu culture is against being Inkabi? According to the culture, it's because you have no right to take a human life. But ubulala imfene, because according to the culture, imfene khomba umuzi wakho not yena. Yena ugibela imfene khomba umuzi wakho. So the culture wouldn't promote you killing.
So it's the evil that they try to kill, essentially.
Exactly. Thank you. So I'm saying when we start exploring the cultures itself, because I've done a lot of studies around these African cultures, you will realize that somehow it has got remedies. But sometimes we don't pay attention to the remedies.
No, I hear that. Also, you want to say something?
Yes. So because you brought the Christ that we're Christians, right? And when we first defined the whole purity and virginity, right? I said purity is becoming, right?
Sure.
So it says there, with God, purity is always possible, right? And whether you're a virgin or not, that's where grace comes in.
Sure.
That's where forgiveness comes in. That's where transformation comes in. Because when you're becoming, you're saying, I'm repenting, God. You know, the culture says, I'm not supposed to do it, but I've done it, or something has happened to me, but I'm coming and I'm repenting and I'm bringing it to you, God, and you're renewing who I am.
Sure.
So it's becoming. So I agree with you, yes, but we can't always bash the one that has done it. It's a thing of, in the current moment, what is she doing? She's becoming better. She's saying, I'm going to be pure in thought. I'm going to die of my flesh every day.
And I think just to try and get to the bottom of this whole thing, right? Especially the ones that have fallen off the bandwagon, essentially. I think they've been chastised so much about them not being pure in terms of physically pure that it has made the virgins afraid, if you get what I mean. And now the virgins are like, oh, I don't want to be like that person.
I don't want to be friends with her.
Right, yeah. As much as, yes, you could say it's good because then they also protecting themselves, but they're protecting themselves out of fear, but not out of faith, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's why now, because they're protecting themselves out of fear, you get problems like, okay, fine, the hymen is intact, but the back door was open long time ago. You see what I mean?
Besides the back door.
They've had boyfriends and they've had sexual encounters, but it was not through the front, it was through the back, right? So now, which brings me to a very wild thing that I just literally thought about just now, and we also kind of had a conversation about it earlier, about now we're going to go into the gay culture now, right? So here's a girl who has decided she's not going to have penetrative sex in the front, but she's going to have at the back, right? But she's having it with her boyfriend or with her partner or whoever, right? And now the guy, say for whatever reason, they break up. Now the guy is used to that kind of...
that thing, yeah.
Right? Now he wants more of it, right? And not all females are open to having that kind of intercourse, right? And then they find out that actually more guys are into that kind of intercourse. And then now there's like this whole debate now going on in society about the problems with backdoor intercourse. Now it has created sort of like this gay culture in men that they are now more into it because, is it homosexual? That's the right word, right?
Bisexual, in other words, you'll find them wanting to sleep with both men and women.
And women at the same time. Yeah, but they want to use the other end. They're into women, but they want
that part. And the woman that he's attracting at that moment is not willing to give him the backside.
Right. So now the question is it females' fault that now there is a bisexual culture now that exists, or there is a homosexuality culture that is...
Yeah, the first woman who created it created a problem.
Okay.
Because she then invited stuff that this man was not used to, and then he started enjoying it, and then she leaves him, or they break up, and now he's like...
and now he's been open to this
that
new
thing.
world.
She started it. It's the cycle that she started, which is wrong.
But I mean, in science, and I think in the is it the gynecology space or that part of
the G spot?
Yeah, there's a thing now that says that there is a nice button there at the back for men. So now that they've discovered that button,
stop discovering, guys.
In fact, can I give you facts on this one?
Yeah.
There's a person who goes by who's got qualifications. She goes by the name of Dr. Mtembo. Yeah. When you type Dr. Mtembo online, she'll appear. Yeah. At first, she works for Kakase FM, and then she was taken by Ukuhlolwa FM. She now does a live stream of videos online of herself without being attached to these institutions. I remember back in the days where she was still working for Kakase FM, there was a lady that called, because they used to do this thing live. She called and said, two types of people that called. One was that this lady was saying the men came into the relationship having experienced this, so they tried it out. Now he does not want to stop. Now she wants to get abantwana, and the man does not want to stop, doesn't want to go through the front door. So the other time, I'm listening to the very same people they were talking on another day. They were talking about this lady was called as well, was saying that in fact, a few of them, they don't want the front door. They want the ladies, forget men, ladies. This other one was even saying she's got a challenge because the man does not want the back door. The man wants the front door. But she, listen to her justification, she's saying she gets pleasure more from the back.
How did she discover that?
I don't know, don't ask me that. I don't know. I'm just telling you that there's a problem that is out. It's either a problem or solution, I don't know. But I know, listening to these people, scientific evidence, according to them, they are saying scientifically, G-spot, when you come from the back, is quicker and nicer. According to that lady who was calling, she said that she gets pleasure when the man comes from the back, not from the front. So she can never now get satisfaction from the front. It always have to be the back if you want to satisfy her. Even the doctor then was saying that, okay, you need to, if you want to get a child, please try the front for a child, but continue with the back. Now, I want to say this then. Google was trying to a story. I think it is 6 months ago. I'm a virgins, a KZN. They basically, they had men who were buying them alcohol and doing all these things. So these men now, they want to, if I can call it in a language as a kasi, they want to, you know what the virgins did? They just gave them the backside and continued by Ukuhlolwa, and everything was fine until somebody reported them good. No, we're checking there, but not from the parts we are checking, from the back. So in other words, it addresses this thing that hypocrisy. When you do this thing, not because you love it, not because you understand it, when it doesn't come from understanding, but it comes from the fact that you fear, you're doing it because you want to please people. But if purity goes with being a virgin, then you understand it's about what comes in. Whether it comes through the mouth, the backside, the front door, it doesn't matter. It's about what comes in. I'm not open to anything that
has to do with
nothing must go into me, full stop.
So that's virginity.
That's virginity team. It's throughout.
It's in its fullest sense.
Including purity.
Yeah, remember once Jesus said, he once said that what defiles the man is not what he says, it's what goes into the man. So in other words, so if you're looking at it from that perspective, then it tells you that it doesn't matter whether it's oral or anal or what, as long as you are not involved. Full stop.
Speaking of lust and hypocrisy, right? There is a very interesting woman in the Bible, Potiphar's wife.
Yeah.
Right. She's not given a name. She's just identified as Potiphar's wife, who sort of tried to get Joseph in bed, and obviously she failed.
Yeah.
And I guess that the question is here, why are spiritual men falling at the mercy of Christian women, right? As much as, yes, she may have not been Christian, but there is a type of hypocrisy that kind of exists within the Christian community, right? Hence, you can have examples like what Bong said just now about being a virgin in the front, but not so much at the back. There's still that mindset of sin that sort of still lives within your head, and it comes out in different ways. Some of us, it may come out through that kind of intercourse. Some of us, it might come out through the way we talk, or even watching porn, or lusting over people. It comes out in different ways.
Different forms.
The abundance of the, what is that verse again? The abundance of
the abundance of the heart,
the mouth speaks, essentially, which is kind of like what we see here. So Potiphar's wife basically decides for herself that she's going to try and tempt Joseph, right? So what makes women go for men who do not want evil but try to lead them into evil ways? What is that? It can even happen because it goes back to what we were talking about, earlier about the difference between virginity and purity.
Yeah.
I could be a virgin, but because I'm impure in thought, I'm still going to make you sin.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So what is it with women that do that? And it actually brings me to an example, a very crazy example on I don't know if any one of you watched The Bachelor. The American. I also don't. But there was this trending story of this guy who claimed Christianity and really loved, the Lord, and there's a part of the competition where you kind of get to test run the lady. So she's the bachelorette, I think, right? So through the process of elimination throughout the season, there's like a few men that get left, right?
Yeah.
And so the men can get to have some alone time with her in a pod, kind of like test drive before you commit, kind of thing, you know? And I remember this guy sort of like coming out on social media talking about, nah, he just doesn't subscribe to that, that's not his, he doesn't want that, you know, because kind of already taints her image, having slept with so many men that, especially that he knows, type of thing, right? And this woman came out guns blazing on some, you are talking like this. In fact, I slept with this guy, but I even slept with him twice. She was so proud of it. You know, like she said, you know what, like, you're
lying.
You are lying. We've been intimate and we did it twice. It's that twice thing. Type of thing. So why do women do that? It's like we have this like thing, type of thing, but we use our bodies to do that. And then for you to actually go on social media and make it known that when you are sexually active. Why is that normal?
Is it the sexual liberation?
The sexual liberation thing? KG?
Just to put contextual history to the story of Potiphar's wife. You notice that nowhere in the text does it mention that Potiphar had children. There is historical, extra-biblical material that suggests that Potiphar was, you could say, a eunuch. In the sense that he was either castrated for the purposes of serving the king, because the most faithful men in the times of, you know, history and whatever, were men who were deprived or men who their biological nature was removed.
Sure.
And this is why the safest people to place young virgins with would be a man who was a eunuch. And this is important for you to then understand the lustful behavior of Potiphar's wife. Because it can't come from nowhere.
Right.
And this is me just giving you the, you know, benefit of seeing behind the text. Because the text kind of presents it as out of the blue,
She
just this woman
decided, okay.
No, it's possible that in her entire marriage, she knows she was married to a general of Pharaoh's army. And they were not met at all. So you need to understand that in that context.
Okay.
Yes, we're not justifying the fact that she went after the Pope, but there's a context to this.
So KG, from what my understanding is that you're saying that women are doing this because they have needs. Their needs are not being met.
Not all the time. Sometimes there's evil.
It's evil. I was about to say it's evil.
Because
I was about to say it's just evil.
If you continue reading the story, she falsified rape.
Yes, it's just evil.
Yeah. As much as, yes, there's a need there that is not being met, but she lied.
Yeah, she's
She got the poor man in trouble, you know, sent straight to jail for however long, you know, for something that didn't even happen.
True.
So she didn't get her way. Yes, she was probably doing it out of desperation, but because she didn't get her way, now she felt very vindictive.
Yeah.
Because she knew she had the power, she used it against him. So my question is, yes, I understand that there's a need that was not met there, but why can't you just lose gracefully? Just lose.
Take your L. And
take your L. Like, Shelile, back bouncer, it's fine. Keep moving.
Why?
But let me defend women. When you listen to the story of when you listen to the story of Ruth, read that story.
Ruth went there, she put on the best clothes.
That's why I got my conviction. No, man. Yes, generally, we are expected to hunt.
Yes.
But there comes a time where they hunt us. But then, the thing is that what I've realized is that for what reason? Because in that context, it was for good reason.
Yeah. Sure.
Look at that. Jesus is coming from the genealogy
Hallelujah.
where a woman hunted hunted the man.
Proper.
You saw, I don't think there's a problem
With the hunting.
if the intentions are good.
Are good, true. I think, the intention is also, like you're saying, Ruth was, that's my favorite book, one of my favorites, right? I'm sure she was like, you know what, let me be the hunter. So maybe women are doing that because they're like, I want to be the hunter.
Wafundiswa uNaomi wathi uNaomi hambela lenyaweni
Exactly.
zakhe uNaomi amezala
It's a
hambela
cycle.
lenyaweni zakhe
Yeah.
futhi iBhayibheli
She
lize lithi iBhayibheli
Where your
uzokwazi what to do
Yes.
when she wake up and he finds you in her feet, in his feet.
Yeah.
So umamezala.
True.
Shela, guys. Ukushela lo kangisho.
Yes, it was.
And it
she put on
worked.
her best perfume and everything.
And it worked.
It worked.
It worked.
It did.
No,
an old man,
I
though.
concede it worked.
For an old man.
For an old man.
He died. He died.
Nanne does not like old men. Let's put it for the record. Nanne does not like young girls dating old men.
It's giving Potiphar.
It's giving PDF file.
Okay, gotta get on a serious note.
Yeah.
Ne? There is this stats that you also want to consider. Guys, I don't know if you know. There was a research that was done around 2019-20. Guess what? They found a good majority of people who are buying online porn are Christian men. Christian
Yeah,
men
there's
to
a
be
stat like
specific.
that. Yeah.
So as you talk about this topic of being pure and last and all this stuff, in fact, I find that it fits perfectly here. Go to nowadays, there's this type of impurity that is sold.
It's fashionable.
Yes, I was listening to a lot of people who are describing being an OnlyFans
Subscriber.
So now what they do, they say there are these people online who will tell you, okay, we want you to put this type of an object to your thing. Or we just want to see this. So you can see that, not only is she active on the other side of the camera, the viewer is also getting satisfaction to an extent that they are paying money. You don't necessarily have to be physical with the person. That's what they are doing now with this. That's the current trend, where you can be an OnlyFans, but you don't have to be physical with these people. It's a transaction that is happening online. I pay you, and then I tell you what style I want you to do. You're doing it for me. You do it for me. So where I'm going with this is that there's this type of dirtiness or impurity that is happening, but it's not physical. It's
You can't see it.
and you will never quote me with a physical human being, but I'm sexually involved.
And for me, that's the wrongest. That's the worst. For me, that's the worst.
And this is by both men and women. Women are the actors on the theater. Men are the consumers on the theater.
Just to touch on that, when it comes to our females, because there's this question that's going around that's like, are females lustful? Like, do women lust?
They do.
Right? And we see a perfect example of that, in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's just that with us, we're just not vocal about it because we don't have the testosterone.
Yes.
It's very hidden. But the things that we think, the conversations we have as friends,
Yes.
like, I could have that. Like he could get it.
So
like, what is
sexy.
that? You know what I mean? Like that he could get it mentality. We could. What is that? You know what I mean? So we're both guilty, male and females, of lusting over
Just
each
that
other.
the one is out there and the other isn't.
And the other isn't, right? And it's made normal for men to be like that. And I think it's probably made normal because men don't really suffer the repercussions
of it.
Of lusting. Yeah. We were having a conversation as we wrap up earlier about the Tandonist Tim, right?
Yeah.
And the son of the
guy.
His name? The son of the guy said that
Ngane kaMseleko.
yes, Nanne and Sihle said that he's impregnated someone, right?
Yeah.
They have a kid together. I think he has more than one kid.
He's got like 3 kids.
Got 3 kids, right? With different women, right? Or same.
two with the one and then the one.
Yeah.
So it's 3 kids.
So it's 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
But then he went out and said that he wants his first wife to be a virgin, right?
What about
the
ones
women
you've
that
touched?
he's already sort of, I guess you could say, degraded according to cultural standards, right? And I found such a huge problem with that, and this is why I was saying to you, it goes back to my point where I said men are being celebrated for being promiscuous, but women, hence we don't really, say out loud that we lust over men. Hence it's not out in the public because it's taboo for us to even feel like that, to even want a man like that. Men are supposed to be wanting us, right? So we're the prize type of thing because that's what we're taught. But now on the other end of the spectrum, when we have men like that, who, by the way, that son, he found these women as virgins, but he's already degraded them, even though he is the one that did the degrading. And so he's finding more value in another woman who is a virgin and wants to make that virgin his first wife. But then now what happens to the other two ladies? Their self-esteem is messed because they're now seen as women who didn't take care of themselves. But the man, the man is the one that actually put them in that position. And it goes back to something that I also kind of have a huge problem with, is when men are calling women, am I allowed to say this word? No, maybe not.
Not on this channel.
I'll just say promiscuous women for now, where they call women promiscuous and all that stuff. But it's like, who are these women sleeping with? Yes, they make it sound like we defile ourselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's that same narrative is what I'm seeing in this story, is that he defiles her, but then chastises her for being defiled.
So my question then says, if a man says he wants a virgin, right? We must look at your track record. You must be a virgin yourself. Because the woman that you're saying, the woman that you have degraded, what happens to them? Your hand is there. So what happens to that woman? So you can't, I feel like you can't ask for something that you're not.
Right. You can't ask for something that you're not.
Yeah. You can't say you want a virgin.
So if you want a standard, you must live up to that standard.
Exactly.
What do you think about that, KD?
Yeah, we need to strive for holiness, guys. And we understand that God has placed many forbidden fruit in this world because of the first sin of Adam. I notice I say the first sin of Adam.
Not Eve.
Yes.
Because Adam had a choice, and he was given the option. Eve was deceived proper. Yes, she chose at the end, but I mean, she started deception. Adam was never deceived. The challenge is now we need to practice the promises of the Bible. When the Bible says if a righteous man falls 7 times, he will get up. Those are the promises that those who might find themselves having already compromised a lot of standards and values need to live by. And it is possible. You know how much clarity you have when you pursue a relationship towards marriage with somebody that you know that you are not pursuing them so that on the wedding night you can have nice time. The clarity you have is that yes, you know there will be nice time, right? But what you are doing is you are not setting yourself up for failure in the process of pursuing them, because you are pursuing them on holiness. At least if you pursue them on holiness, you are guaranteed that even the nice time, God will sanctify it double. You are not going to be having guilty flashbacks. You're not going to be having situations where a pastor has to come to your house and you are out there with a gun because somebody called a name that is not yours. These are real things that happen. These are real things that happen. And so in the context of this chat, and I know people of the Advent Pod haven't heard a conversation like this in a minute. Look, this is us dialing it down a lot, right?
There's a lot of layers.
We have more robust, layers to this conversation, but for the purposes of sharing it online, this is just for teaching and educational purposes, so that our church, does the proper things. Pidani is saying time out.
Oh, closing statement. Okay. So as I sort of close off, I also just want to include the virgins in this conversation, right? And I think I just want to also make it known that, you know, we see you, we understand, we love
you.
the fact that you have kept yourself, you know, for this girl, well done, you know, for some of us who
Girl
have,
and boy.
yeah, girl and boy, yeah, you know, but for the rest of us who are not so, you know, I guess virgin-y, listen, like, we can still be redeemed. We still matter. God loves us. And I think let's also not idolize relationships. You know, I think in the church, anyway, in general society, we've idolized the idea that relationships are important. And I think when I'm going through all of my notes here with the things that we've discussed, we've placed a lot of value in what people say about us. We don't look upwards and ask, what does God say about us? We don't read the word. We don't, you know, surrender to God's will because we think other people's validations matter. You know, my boyfriend's validation matter, my future husband matters, you know, type of thing. And as to just close it off, which is something that I said earlier, from the ages of 0 to 16 or 18 years old, it's having no sex is permissible, right? But from the ages of like 18 to 30, it's like, okay, that's the time where you need to find your husband now.
Yeah.
Find someone to settle down so that you can break your virginity, so that you can have sex. And then to those who did not find the husband between 18 and 30 going upwards, it's like, what's wrong with you? So with women, we don't win.
Ever.
Even with guys, there's no winning. You know what I mean? If you fail in that 10 years, 12 years, actually between 18 and 30, to find a person for you to have sex, there's something wrong with you. Now you need to start having sex after 30. Now you need to start having kids. Why do you not have kids and you're like 35 years old?
There's something that you said about the preference thing, right? I always, I heard this last week and I think it stays with me. Sometimes we are the Leahs. So there's the preferred person, which is the Rachels.
Yeah.
But who are you preferred? Leah was preferred by God. So I'd rather be preferred by God than men.
Hallelujah. We can just end it right there.
So I think going back to just my closing thing would be on purity, right?
Yeah.
Would be purity is not perfection.
Yeah.
And that's why I say you're becoming, right? So it's a sincere pursuit of truth, love, and integrity.
Hallelujah.
It begins in the heart, goes back to Matthew 5, verse 8.
Yeah.
Refining our motives, shaping our actions, drawing us closer to the presence of God. In this world full of distractions, the lust and so forth, the pure heart remains focused and not and right on what is right and who is righteous, and that is God. So truly seeing God.
Bongs, you wanted to say something?
Oh yes, I think what we listening to your conversation, guys, what you guys did not clarify, which I wish you should have, is that when you mention the issues of culture, you must understand that if I'm a cultural person and I'm not a Christian, then all that I live for is culture.
Yeah.
But when I am a Christian, I go above culture. E.g., being a cultural person, be it woman or man, being a virgin is the thing to me.
Yeah.
But to you, the thing is God. So that's where basically we should have drawn the line to say, okay, we understand, though we're talking about cultures, but this is where maybe we need to understand that if you are a man of culture, you must understand that there's something beautiful above your culture, and that is God. The beauty about it is that it regulates your behavior. It regulates, you can do something wrong and you will self-correct, or God will correct you because you subscribe to principles that are very important and cannot change. Whereas culture, once you get the virginity, you must think of it this way. There's a man who's married who was chasing a virgin. There's a virgin who's married to a man. All that they needed to do was to be a virgin. But the key questions that have to be asked in between, are we compatible? Are we what? They are left unspoken of. They are left unaddressed. Why? Because we are in pursuit of this culture that I need to be a virgin, I need to marry a virgin, I need to pay 13 cows. But with me being a Christian, there's something far bigger than that.
Yeah.
Part two, definitely part two.
Yes, thank you, Bongs. Guys, please do engage with us. We're not perfect. It's also our opinions. We are also trying to figure this thing out, the differences between virginity and purity. Please do let us know what you guys think. It's always a pleasure to sit with you. Till next time, this is the Advent Pod under the segment Giggles and Grace.
Road to 10K. Subscribe,
please
like. Watch the whole video, guys, please.
Yeah, coming to you from Giggles and Grace. This is Nanne Mwedi. I'm Sihle Bibi, signing out. Love you. Oh, there's KG and there's Bongs and Gun at the back there. Love you guys. Bye.
Goodbye.